What up? This is an album review of Everything is Tenuous by Tassie punk band Luca Brasi. I have been playing the shit out of this album and I love it. It was released February 12 this year through Cooking Vinyl Australia. It debuted at number 7 on the ARIA charts and peaked at number 3, which is awesome. They're the only band I know of from Tasmania. Their last album, Stay, is one of my favorite local punk records. As you can see, I have it on vinyl, unopened. If you're not familiar with Luca Brasi, they do sing with a very thick Aussie accent, which can be abrasive if you're not used to it to some listeners. But he does sing with very good timbre, and it's not just yelling like, say, the Smith Street Band. Death to the lad! The album has 10 tracks, like all of their back catalogue, 10 or 11 with an interlude. This is 10 solid tracks with a feature in the album closer, Seasick, with Cat Edwards, who is an indie pop Tassie artist. The band actually uploaded a video to their socials as like an after movie after their album launch in Hobart, explaining the recording process of the album. And they actually talk about how they recorded much of it in isolation from their home. Apparently they started recording with their producer in Melbourne, and when the border closures were introduced, they actually bought a lot of equipment themselves and recorded it from home in Tasmania with the virtual help of their producer from Melbourne, which is quite impressive. So the album had 4 singles, the first of which was Tangled Content, followed by This Selfish Love, Dying to Feel Alive, and Every Time You're Here, I'm Gone. It's a very mature album, probably their most mature yet, with themes of growth, love, and funnily enough, isolation. There are a lot of layered harmonies, gang vocals, very catchy melodies, and a lot of earworm choruses. If you listen to this album on repeat like I did, you will be singing those choruses in your head for hours afterwards. There are very poignant, articulate lyrics from Richo, as always. A lot less distorted guitar and more clean, restrained solos and riffs, I noticed, which probably reflects the mature themes of the album I was talking about earlier. Some interesting drum patterns are used. The first one that comes to mind is Remiss of Me. The snare and the turnaround is quite interesting, and the build-up in Restless halfway through the album's track listing reminds me a lot of Collisions from their last album, Stay. You've got this sort of slow guitar and vocals halfway through the song, and then the rest of the band comes in just to kind of give this dynamic partway through the listening experience from front to back, which is really exciting. Singer and bassist Richo actually posted on their socials explaining what the song The Truth is about, and he talks about this hopeless feeling of losing some of his closest friends to suicide. The song itself is actually quite upbeat. The lyrics do have quite a bit of weight to them, despite lines like, "The truth will set you straight right after it fucks you in the face." It's just that brutal honesty, I think, of his lyrical style. The best song on the album, in my opinion, is This Selfish Love, track 5. It's one of the lead singles. It has a very somber tone, but an almost hopeful melody. He sort of talks about how he feels undeserving of his partner's love, so he indulges in it while he can, so to speak. The guitar solo before the second verse is very smooth and expressive. It really takes the song to a different place before going into the more emotional second verse, I suppose. The inflection in Richo's voice conveys so much of that emotion. The rhythm guitar riff in the refrain after the second chorus is more gritty, overlaid by a clean riff. It just brings the whole song together, and it's a great track. When I'm playing the CD in the car, this is the song that I belt from front to back at the top of my lungs. Best lyric for me is "Better to hide and not to show the depths of the shallow that I've become," from the final track on the album, Seasick, featuring Cat Edwards. I'm partial to this because I'm a sucker for wordplay and I'm a sad boy. You get this sense that he is defeated and that he doesn't try because he doesn't care. While that's sort of something that is spoken a lot about throughout the album, the rest of the tracks kind of talk about how he gets this push from his partner and those closest, whereas this track sort of just resigns to that. It's a bare track with a lot of reverb. There's synth strings, programmed drums, and like a distant repeated piano melody at the start. The pace really picks up in the second verse where Cat comes in and the whole band comes in at the end for this really big finish to this, I suppose, short but very solid album. Overall, I would give Everything is Tenuous 8 out of 10. 10 tracks, no filler. Each song feels like it has its place. Very good lyrics, very good musicianship. All in all, it's a fantastic album. I just can't get enough of it. Great work, boys. Can't wait to see what you do next. Keen to see you at a show very soon. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy it. Let me know if you think I should do more. Much love.